benefit or more positive outcomes with the patients that you can treat with the subcutaneous device versus sending them to the hospital?
Yeah, so the most common reason why people admit to the hospital, this is across the board, it's not cardiology, is congestive heart failure. 40% of all admissions in the U.S. is congestive heart exacerbation. And the most common reason why people get readmitted to the hospital is congestive heart failure exacerbation. And the most common reason is not because they're having a heart attack, it's just because they have extra fluid. And if you can try to cut down on even a little bit, I'm not saying this device is going to cut it to zero, but I'm sure it'll probably have a dent in reducing hospitalization, especially index and rehospitalization. So yeah, I would definitely see a benefit. I'm sure they're working on a study to look at what the benefit would be.
Okay. All right. So just have a couple more questions for you. So at what point is an event considered an acute decompensation? So we understand there's heart failure, but what point is it classified this patient is decompensated?
Whenever they're symptomatic.
Whenever they're symptomatic?
Or the symptoms get worse. Some people are symptomatic at baseline, Some people are going to have a New York Heart Classification 2 or 3 or 4 to start off with. So whatever their classification is, if it gets worse, obviously, because of the volume, and it has to be because of the volume, and or if they're usually fine, but now they're symptomatic, and because of the volume, that would be considered the acute exacerbation.
Okay, so you say the primary symptom would be just that volume retention, correct?
Yeah, but that's the Otherwise, if they're having an asthma attack and they're short of breath, but their volume status is fine, that's not usually a decompensated heart failure.
Are all decompensation events considered worsening heart failure to some degree?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right, perfect. All right.
The inciting event could be different. So the inciting event could be, as I said, either they didn't take the medication or took too much fluid, or took too much salt, or currently having an ischemic event, or they're having an arrhythmia. So the inciting event could be different, but bottom line is when you call it acute decompensated heart failure, it has to be that the heart failure is decompensated. That's extra volume.
Okay. All right. Well, that's honestly all the questions that I have for you at the moment. I just want to open up the line for a quick second to see if anyone listening in has any additional questions for you, if that's all right.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll just give them a minute.
You're fine. I've blocked the whole hour for you guys, so you're fine till 2:30.
Oh, perfect. I appreciate it.
I have one question. So if a patient experiences this event and you're able to control them either with oral or this product that might be coming to market, do you think they would fare better than a patient who ended up needing to go to the hospital to get IV, even if they aren't hospitalized?
Let me think about that. So if we can keep the patient outpatient and treat them effectively with this treatment modality, yes, definitely a benefit, not just financially for the healthcare system, but also for the patient, because once you go to the hospital, you're exposing the patients, especially the elderly patients, to nosocomial infections. You're exposing them to, because they're in the hospital, there's the risk of DVTs, because patients get DVTs. So a lot of these complications that are hospital-related that the patient could get, you're not going to get as an outpatient. So from that standpoint, it's a huge benefit to keep them out of the hospital.
Okay. And then in general, just thinking about the amount of fluid they take on, if you can kind of stop it earlier versus, having them put on 5, 6, 7 pounds of water weight, that's also beneficial for the long term, correct?
Absolutely. So, even if at some point they do get admitted, so it will shorten the index hospitalization, by quite a lot. So let's say if the patient's been using this medication, instead of being in the hospital for 5 days to get all that water out, now they'll require